Hello.
Yo, what's up,
Hey,
dude?
how's it going?
It's going well. It's going well.
Cool.
How are you?
Awesome. Great, thanks. Um,
Excellent.
okay, cool. So last week we talked about essentials in the Falco matchup. Trying to
Mhm.
boost some of your knowledge for that.
Mhm.
But we also talked about how to chain grab, like learning power shield, and just like a couple tips and tricks. So
Yes.
how have you been finding that?
Uh, Definitely been incorporating more chain grabs.
Yep.
Uh, with that said, it feels like it's a lot easier to DI out of a chain grab than it is to perform like pivot grabs to actually continue chain grabs. So
Hmm. Yeah.
my Falco friends like quickly out skilled me there. Kind of outpaced me on the counterplay. So now I'm trying to like try to get pivots incorporated, and that's hard.
Yep.
Uh, but it's better than nothing for
Yeah,
sure.
it definitely, that's for what it's worth. That's just a thing that takes practice. Once you,
Yeah.
because you once you get to certain percents, like I think some of the video guides I sent you, but just as like a quick tip, 0 to 15, that's when it gets like really tricky. All you have to do is just
Mhm.
turn around. But 15 onward, you can just do a pivot unless they do like full in or out DI. So you really only have
Yeah.
to cover three options at that point.
Right. Yeah, I definitely will change sometimes like three or four in a row though. So it's
Yeah.
definitely been incorporating that. And then definitely been trying to work power shielding in. I generally take a lot more damage than I am able to reflect, just getting
Hmm.
the timing down.
Yep.
But it is getting better.
Okay.
So yeah, that's helpful for when I'm like long range against a Falco. But actually getting into the Falco, getting through the lasers if he just kind of wants to hang out and keep blasting them,
Yep.
that's been definitely a sticking point for me.
Okay.
And I've got a few replays that at some point, if we could go over, that would be pretty cool because they were
Yep.
replays that I felt like I played decently,
For
like
sure.
you know,
Mhm.
did okay, and just kind of got stomped.
Okay.
Um, Yeah, and then yeah.
Okay. Well, that's not a problem. So I do have some good news for you since I know we're trying to be Falco right now. I did actually have a session between the last time you and I have had a session with a Marth player who's a little bit more like familiar with the game. They've been playing a little longer, um, but they also wanted like help with the Falco matchup, and I'm sure you remember, but I kind of brought up a couple of times that like Falco and Fox are like kind of like weird characters to kind of teach like general game plan and
Yeah.
rules to, but especially just to newer players in general. But this guy has been playing for quite a while, so he kind of like he's really like a Falco specialist. Like he kind of already knows most things, so we kind of just stuck at the matchup to like specific rules he needs to stick to more so. And I was looking through those notes and I was like, you know what? I think this would actually be really helpful for you. So I'm gonna copy paste them in here,
Nice. Okay.
just so you can have that.
Yeah, great.
And we'll talk about that. And then there's a couple other things, but I think mostly I've sent that to you already. So here's like the basic game plan that you're looking for. There are some things that are
Oh,
missing
nice.
because it's in a video recording, but that video recording is in my Discord if you want to check that out, if
Sure.
you're interested in that lesson. But
Hmm.
yeah, this is essentially. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this. The range you want to play against Falco. Okay. And then one more piece of notes, which I think actually we might have already talked about learning power shield. So yeah, okay, we'll talk about. I had another one with him, but these are the top three anti-laser strategies. So we'll talk a bit about that. So we'll talk a bit about this, and then we'll watch some videos, or of you playing basically. So these are. I'm gonna share my screen just so you can see my mouse where I'm pointing it sometimes. These are essentially the same thing you and I had talked about for Marth Sheik, right? Way up
Yeah.
here. Um, and same thing with Luigi. Sorry it took so long, but I fleshed that out as well.
No, no,
Although
no.
this actually says Sheik still. I'm going to change that. Well, I just reworked a lot of the sentences, but yeah, this is supposed to be Luigi. Okay. Oh, that didn't update. Okay, there. Weird. Okay, so yeah, basically for Falco, um, neutral is like a huge factor of the matchup. We talked a little bit before how like Falco basically like controls the ranges of which you guys play at.
Yeah.
And it's a different matchup than others in melee because you don't really get to control the pace. You're more so playing around what Falco is doing a lot of the time versus other ones where you can make some stuff happen just by movement and like general threats. But in this matchup, it's not really the case because laser exists.
Yeah.
So what you're trying to do is work your way up to a death case scenario. So like this is written in reverse order. But I'm telling you it in the order of what would actually happen in a game, right? So like your first, like you start at go, right? The first thing you're trying to do is learn how to overcome lasers, right? And there's a couple strategies for how to beat laser here, which we talked about mostly already. But I'll tell you a little bit more about that just in case. So your whole point really is to get them to stop lasering, which you use those anti-laser strategies for. At which point you can get a grab or hit him off stage, and once he's off stage, he's a death sentence. It's a death sentence, right? There's nothing really more deep to it with Falco than that. It's really about getting around the laser, which is the tricky part. If you're playing without bad habits, that's pretty much all you're going to be really looking for is getting around his laser, not necessarily beating it, just playing around it. So yeah, how can you do that? So him and I talked about, like, for him, I feel like he's jumping in against Falco a lot, which doesn't really line up with anything of what he's trying to do, right? He's trying to get a grab against Falco once he stops lasering. So jumping a lot doesn't really let you do that. And not only does it not let you get a grab, you can't grab in the air, but you still can't do your anti-laser strategies as well, right? Like you won't be able to shield, you won't be able to be defensive against them. You open yourself up in the air very hard for laser, right? So these are like the pros for you. I treat them like these are your goals, the weaknesses, but these are like your rules to follow basically. So you want to stay grounded as much as possible. You want to condition Falco to stop lasering once you like prove to him that you're going to beat his laser over and over, which some Falcos are much more stubborn than others. I'm sure you'll notice this the more you play. So sometimes you will just find yourself in the stalemate, but even the stalemate, it's not bad once you're good at dealing with laser. And from that point, Falco's movement just isn't better than Marth's strictly without laser. So that's when you have the ability to kind of get a position to beat him. And like I said, once you're in neutral, you have access to all your anti-laser strategies. And once you prove to him that you're going to like just commit to your anti-laser for a while, that's when you can start bringing out the more committal stuff like wave dash smash, dash attack, your nairs, down tilt, etc. And then from there, that's when you get to play punish, right? So that's going to be the main things we're going to be looking for. I know we hadn't really talked about anti-laser strategies a ton because some things are just essential, right? Like the chain grab on FD is extremely important. Like recovering high against Falco is a no-go whatsoever. You got to learn how to recover. So like those are things just to do, but in general, once you kind of beat out those bad habits, this would be the strategy I would recommend for how to play against Falco. And then strengths for him, this is pretty straightforward, right? But you're just basically not the whole goal is to not get hit by laser because then you'll get shine, because then you get edge guarded, and then you die, right? Same thing with the corner, but it's just more so that. So yeah, basically, like I said here, you have to stay within a range where you don't get committed against laser, which would be around here. We can talk about that. You're not allowed to jump in and attack him. You want to stay grounded, right? So we talked about that. And then this means you need to show discipline versus a laser range and be aware of not getting too close. The more you control the stage and you're able to stay slippery, the less you're able to get trapped in the corner and not lose your options. So just before I talk about laser strategies for a bit, because I think that's really important going into the VOD review, do you have any questions about what I've said? I know that was like very quick. So if any like questions or ideas that you are wondering might be good from that, now would be a good time.
Speaking, everything made sense. There's like, I worry that there's a little bit of a disconnect where I'm playing against these Falcos that are like, they're my skill level. So there's so much worse that I'm not totally sure that like the best possible strategy against Falco always applies just because the way that the Falcons that I play against maybe don't even, you know,
No,
I don't know if that makes any sense, but they just like do things that I don't see other Falcos doing in pro matches because the
no,
Falcos in pro matches know they can't do it or they get punished. But then as a result, it's like when I'm watching, I don't know how to punish it because the
yeah,
Falcos aren't doing it in the first place. That sort of thing. So
that totally makes sense. What I would say to that is I do think these rules apply regardless of what level you're playing at. You just might not be skilled at any necessarily one, or the Falco maybe not skilled at dealing with this, right? So like, let's say the Falcos who you're playing against, they're shooting one laser and then just run in Nair Shine every time, right? Like just something like brain off, like I'm just gonna press buttons aggression kind of thing.
yeah,
Even if that's the case, if you're able to intercept a laser or recognize when a Falco is able to come in, then you still beat them no matter what, right? The advantage of these types of notes and like the way they're structured is that it's really just looking for you to have like different like spots to be comfortable on stage, right? So when we talk about like you want to avoid dealing with lasers, so you can see like if Falco is lasering over here, this is just basically another way of saying don't run in on Falco when he's lasering like that. You have to keep a little bit of a distance, right? Even if the Falco isn't going to be as committed as a top level Falco for, you know, just spamming laser over and over and trying to keep this position as much as they can, it's still a rule for you that you shouldn't be able to run in on them, right? Because then you're just creating a bad habit for yourself at that point.
right,
What you'll find about a lot of like top players is that I was actually talking to Moki and Aklo about this recently, because we were talking about like what percentage of the top 100 are pure skill, like they're just really good at learning on their own, and which percentage have grinded for it, right? And it's a pretty even split, but that's even though that sounds like an even split, like it's not that bad. That's a huge consideration to take in, right? Because otherwise, then there's people who have been playing for like 7 years and they've just coasted by because they have good habits, right? But they're like they're solid, strong, good habits that don't crack over time. So that's basically what I'm trying to say is that regardless of what level you're playing at, I do think these strategies are like actually very important to learn. You might find that maybe you might get more off of like just practicing a chain grab right now because you get a grab, but I think how you get the grab is just as important.
sure.
So yeah, why don't you send me the VOD? We'll talk about some anti-laser strategies. I think would be the most important thing. Just because, yeah, once you're able to like stop Falco from shooting lasers, he basically, especially at low level, I don't mean to be a little dramatic, but he basically just becomes a low tier at that point. Like,
right,
non-laser Falco is really not that scary for Marth.
right.
So we'll take a look at this.
Yeah, I'm realizing as you're talking about like staying on the ground how bad these replays are gonna look because I found that like the only way like I could power shield the laser back at him, but he could like reflect it back at me.
Right.
And so like it just became this like situation of us just like basically ping ponging lasers and nothing's actually happening, or I have to like jump, like not even short jump or I get hit, but like full hop all the way over the lasers is kind of what I'm like doing over and over again. At which point he's usually just like ready for me to jump in, and it's just really ugly.
Yeah, it's rough, right? Because like the big thing with Falco is like you have to respect his laser, and that's like the one thing I think a lot of people, especially at lower levels, get caught up on. Some people will find like huge success off of just like jumping over a laser every time and hitting Falco, and then sometimes like I'm sure you've heard it about Falco, but like if you touch him, sometimes he just dies, like he explodes, right? So some people will play the game and they will be like, oh, well, I got my one touch, I know what I'm doing, and like sure you might have beaten this Falco, but play another Falco who knows how to beat that, and all of a sudden you're looking very lost, right?
Yeah.
So these are the types of things I try and push for, because like sure you could beat a Falco very quick in the short term, but it's the long term that you're worried about. If you get better at the long term strategies, not only will you beat the Falco you're trying to beat right now, but then you'll beat like 900 other ones too, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
So it's like actually getting better at the game kind of thing. So yeah, basically what we're going to be looking for in this VOD, outside of just general like stay grounded, you know, try and hit your edge guards, like hit your punishes as hard as possible, we're going to be really looking for how you are dealing with laser. I think that's a really great indication. Like I said, Falco controls the pace in this matchup, So Falco is going to be controlling when you're able to play, when you just kind of have to show some respect a little bit to him. But though Falco controls that space with laser, you have 3 amazing strategies to beat laser here and kind of like make an opening for yourself. So before we get into it, I want to ask you, do you kind of understand all these options here about how to beat laser?
Dash back and forward for laser, that would be like take laser, I'm assuming, where you just take it, but then you dash immediately forward after it. And
Yes.
Okay. And then AC Nair to beat laser startup. Oh, auto cancel Nair. So just hitting him with the beginning of a Nair before the laser actually fires?
Yep, that's right. And then,
okay.
So basically, power shields. You and I talked about power shields in our last session, where the dash back power shield is more valuable than the crouch power shield. So we talked about that.
I definitely noticed that it's a lot easier.
Yeah, I think it's a lot easier as well. Some people think the crouch one is easier, but I think not only is the dash one easier, in my opinion, I think it's just better for spacing, right? You're able to play more ranges against Falco with it. So similar to the idea of power shielding, dash back and dash forward. So take laser. Dash back is the one you'll hear people say a lot, where Falcos will shoot a laser, you take it, and then Marth just dashes back to avoid whatever attack is coming in. And dash back out of laser, like dash back, take laser, or take laser, dash back, sorry. It might honestly be for low level the better option more often than not, because what you'll find at low level a lot of the time, do you understand the concept of overshooting in Melee?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, so basically, imagine every little range that someone has, right? Let's look at this picture. So this is like the range you want to be playing from consistently when you're playing against Falco. If Falco from this position were to do a dash attack, it would land right here. If he were to do a down air, it would probably land right here, just in front of you, right? From this starting position. Of course, he can keep moving and do it, but the idea is that wherever he's from, if he commits to a move full in, that's where he's going to land. So that's the concept of just like a normal move. If he's undershooting, he does those same things like a down air or a nair or something. Dash attack probably not, but down air or nair. But he's drifting backwards. Like he comes in and starts doing it this way, but then he drifts backwards, right? Does that make sense? That's called That's called undershooting. So, and they serve different purposes, right? So like this one is normal. It's covering this range. Undershooting would probably cover the range in front of him while trying to be as safe as possible. An overshoot is the counterplay to Marth beating these 2 options. So for Marth to beat a normal one and the undershoot, all he has to do is just dash dance grab them, right? It's pretty easy just to get around that. So how does Falco beat Marth, who just reacts to Falco being in front of him, dashes back, and dashes in and grabs him? He would have to overshoot. And what I mean by that is like he would run a little extra distance where he's actually vulnerable at first, but then he would down air like way over here or something, trying to catch the Marth dashing away, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So overshooting is often the counterplay to people dash dancing in place, or the people who like to run away to the corner. You would normally overshoot against them. So what I'm saying is basically at low levels, a lot of Marths will just default because they know I need to get a grab. If I grab Falco, I'll die. They'll just default to dash dance grabbing, right? So when Falcos start getting better, when they start adapting, is they will overshoot into Marth's dash dance, and then they'll attack him into that. So what I'm saying is, if you're not playing against Falcos who are doing the overshoot much, take laser dashback is the better one. However, if they do show that they know how to beat that option, that they'll downer you for dash dancing a lot, then maybe take laser running forward is actually better, because then, like I said, the Falco has to run a little further in order for him to actually make this range. So when you do that, you can run underneath his aerial startup. So when he's starting up his nair, you're underneath him, and then all of a sudden now he's landed here, and then you dash dance grab him anyway, kind of thing.
Right.
But that's the idea essentially, is that you take the laser and then you just kind of move to dash dance against Falco. So you have power shielding, shoot the laser back, taking the laser and moving it, and then the top one is actually directly punishing him for using laser. So like you said, you got it right on the money. Auto cancel nair just is basically as quick as possible nair you can do while you're really close to Falco to catch him while he's starting up his laser, because laser is an instant like shine or something. In my opinion, though, this one is the weakest of the three to be aggressive on laser. More often than not, I would try and use power shield or movement to not only still be aggressive with laser and send it back towards him, but you're doing it while being safe and you're being able to move around it. This one is like it's important to know, but it's not something to rely on a ton. However, if you're going to do an aerial in Falco's face when you think he's going to laser, I still do think Nair is the best move that you have, because more often than not, Nair will beat crouch cancel. So if Falco lasers and immediately holds down right in front of you, which is a really good strategy for them because they're looking for shine or something, Nair will beat crouch cancel a low percent. So you don't get punished directly for doing Nair. If you commit to doing something after the Nair, then maybe you will still get punished. But at the very least, the Nair is the best move to do to hit Falco right in front of you, kind of thing.
Okay, that makes sense. And you do an aerial because he's jumping typically when he does a laser?
Yeah, that's when you would do
Instead
it.
of just like a jab or something, or like a forward tilt?
Yeah, an aerial has less risk involved typically. Like, in my opinion, like down tilt is not very that strong against Falco or Fox. I was talking to Moki about this, where like down tilt on paper is a very good move that covers a huge range in front of you. It's very quick. It's a very good poke, etc. Right? We talked about it in the Sheik matchup. It's amazing. However, with Fox and Falco, it's not really the same because Sheik doesn't have the best aerial drift like horizontally. So she has a hard time jumping over down tilt as much as Fox and Falco, where from any given position, they can just hit you for it. And even more so in the Falco matchup, Falco can just shoot a lower laser and punish you from all the way across the stage anyway for doing a down tilt. So typically I like to use aerials if I'm going to be attacking him. Aerials or grab. I wouldn't really risk doing too many like random tilts against Falco just because the risk reward is, even if you hit it, you get a poke, but if he hits you, he could potentially kill you, right? So
yeah,
the risk reward isn't really worth it, but with an aerial, you at least have a little bit better risk reward. But yeah, like I said, this one is very committal to try and like jump in on Falco while he's shooting a laser. Because like I said, that kind of goes against the game plan that we have. But sometimes it is just the right idea. So I put it here anyway. But more than anything, these two are the ones you want to be looking for, especially power shielding if you're good at the timing.
Okay, got it.
So yeah, okay. Now that we've covered that, sorry for taking so long with that, but I think it's important to kind of talk about what you should be looking for while we're playing. We'll talk about anti-laser strategies in this VOD. We'll talk about any bad habits that are still popping up. And of course, if there's anything specific that you're looking to beat, absolutely we'll talk about that as well.
Great. Okay. Sounds good.
Cool. So we'll go from go here. Okay. Grab. Okay, here's a little trick. But it's really broken though on this stage, especially. On Fountain of Dreams, when you have them waiting on a platform like this, and you are where you are right now, what do you think is the best move to hit in this position?
Would a tipper hit him? I look like I'm a little too far.
No, it would hit him actually, because when he gets up, right, he's not going to be like pixel perfect on the edge of this platform. He still has like quite a bit of like body like still here.
Yeah.
And not only will it tipper him from this spot, which is what you want ideally, it'll cover all these options as well, right? If we were to talk about like really good Falcos, who like if you were to do like an up tilt here or an up air, there's strange DIs that exist in Melee where they can beat that.
Okay.
But typically speaking, when you're at a range where you're just outside the platform height on Fountain of Dreams, you're actually able to just tipper F smash the whole platform. And even if it doesn't tipper, it's still an F smash, and they won't punish you for it directly because they're kind of at an awkward spot to do so.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, it's not the biggest punish you get, but if you get the tipper, you potentially kill him at like 25%, which is kind of broken. So yeah.
Okay,
yeah, so you could definitely tipper F smash that instead of up tilt, even though the up tilt's not bad. Okay, so you got your up tilts here. Okay, good to see you're not jumping at a hit stun right away. That's great. Talked about that before.
Right.
Sure, you're still taking damage, but you got your resources, right? Which is big.
Okay.
I
know. Oh god.
It's okay. It's
I
okay.
haven't watched these in a long time. I'm like so embarrassed, but yeah, that's
no worries. So I want to ask you, when you hit a dash attack, right? You've gone for 2 dash attacks this game so far. One right here at the beginning of the match, right? To cover, I'm assuming this is to beat the idea of like a high laser. You're sweeping underneath him.
You're just giving me a lot of credit. When there's someone in front of me and they're slightly outside the range of a grab or like a down tilt, I'll just typically go for a dash.
Dash attack? Okay. That's a habit to break then, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I said in this matchup, Falco controls the pace. Even if he shoots a low laser, he just beats his dash attack outright. But he doesn't even have to shoot a laser. He could just raw F smash you and catch you while you're doing the dash attack out startup. It's just too slow of a move. Sorry, it's too slow of a move to reliably throw out against Falco.
Okay.
But I do want to talk about when you get a dash attack, right? So I think it's just up after this counter over here. Where is it? Right here. So same idea, right? It's almost the exact same like go position, right?
Right.
So Falco's right in front of you. Lines up with what you said pretty well. If they're outside of your grab range, you're going to go for dash attack, right? So you hit it. What are you looking for here?
I think I usually try to go for an up tilt afterwards just to keep them above me.
Okay.
But the fact that you're asking makes me feel like probably an F smash again, a tipper.
Nope. It could be both. It's the thing.
Okay.
So what I would say that you're looking for here, more than anything with one specific move, it's just like when you get a grab in the chain grab. You're looking for his DI. So up tilt would actually be pretty good here, right? But because he DIs behind you, that's a pretty hard up tilt to hit. So I would just F smash him and put him off stage, because why I would do that is because he's DIing behind you after he gets hit by that dash attack, right? So he's DIing all the way this way. So what happens when someone's DIing this way, F smash becomes way stronger because now they have bad DI. Does that make sense?
Right.
They get shot even
like
further.
Lead them in the direction of the momentum
Yeah.
they're probably already holding.
Exactly that. So up tilt and F smash will work on any DI almost. Like if Falco were to DI this dash attack, right, and he DIs it to the left, he'll probably just pop up like right here. But because you can see that he's starting to go this way, it's a lot easier to shoot him the other way. Or you can use up tilt still and get your damage. That's a perfectly valid option.
Yeah.
But because he's holding out here, he likely will die to F smash. Same thing if he were to DI left here. F smash will connect. You'll pop him straight up. But why you wouldn't want to F smash him as much when he goes straight up like this is because he's holding left, right? So if you F smash him to the left, or sorry, he's holding to the right. So if you F smash him to the left and he goes like this, he's going to be DIing the right way for it. Does that make sense?
Wow. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So yeah, you can get up tilt here. It's actually perfectly valid. It's consistent. It uses the right. It racks up a ton of damage. And it's still good on the DI. Like it's still the right DI. You can still go for it. But more often than not, I think that F smash is a really good trick off dash attack, because they're really not expecting it a lot of the time, and they will just explode for it.
Okay.
So if you hit a dash attack, like I said, I think you don't want to be dash attacking in that range in general. Right. But there are some matchups, and I think this is just an important thing to know for like every matchup, because that dash attack up tilt thing or dash attack F smash is really a thing in almost every matchup, right? Like you can do that against Falcon, you can do it against Sheik, you can do it against Ice Climbers, you can do it against Fox.
Yeah.
The whole cast, right? But
okay.
Dash attack is very committal. If you're playing that range where Falco's in front of you, similar to what I was pointing out here, this is the range you want to play neutral at with Falco. Dash attack probably would hit if you were to like full run out and swing him from here.
Right.
But what you're looking for more than anything is dealing with laser, because he has all the control in this spot, but you're at least the safest you can be in this spot as well without giving him advantages.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Try not to use dash attack, but if you do, rip an F smash every now and then. It's really good.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. So, okay. Just gonna point it out because I think it's important when we do it. Double jumping in the no-fly zone. We talked about that.
Yeah, we did. We talked about that.
So no worries on it. Again, I'm just gonna point it out, and I'm not giving you a hard time on it. It's just same thing here. The side B in it, right?
Yep.
Right here. You could just fall instead. He's not gonna
Yeah,
hit
just
you.
grab the ledge. Okay,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. Side B again. But okay, you get an F smash.
Yeah.
So one thing I would suggest, I know this could be a thing of like how good this Falco is and levels of the game, but when you're using invincibility or you're trying to avoid their invincibility, it's a massive factor as to like whether or not you keep a lead, right? People don't really think about it a lot, but when your opponent is invincible, they're throwing out all their strongest moves to hit you, and some people are just like moving like they normally don't, right? I get why you jump up here, but put it into Falco's perspective right now. What does he have to worry about when he's trying to hit you in this spot?
I mean, he's invincible, so not really anything.
Exactly, right? If he misses the back air, he just lands and starts putting pressure on you anyway. But if he gets you here, you die at 103 from a back air up in here. So my recommendation is two things if you want to write this down, because this is important, how to play in between stocks.
Yep.
My recommendation, when you see a Falco here, like, and you're like right here, right? You have basically have two options in this spot given to you right now, or three, but I'm gonna narrow it down to two because I think one isn't as strong. Option one is go to the ledge and start ledge refreshing, right?
Sure.
If the Falco tries to run off stage and hit you while you're doing that, because he's invincible, you can just roll on stage, right? And then you get to play the stage control game, and then now all of a sudden, his invincibility after coming here, going all the way over here, trying to hit you, and then coming back up, his invincibility's gone by then. But now he's stuck in the corner, and you have all the center of the stage to play with.
Right, right.
That's one option. The downside of this option is that if Falco just wants to like go here and start shooting a bunch of laser, well, now you're stuck in the corner against laser, and that's a really tough spot to be in. So keep it in mind with how you think the Falco is going to play that spot. If he's really campy with laser, maybe not the best. The other option is to go on a platform and light shield. I say light shield because light shielding will cover your feet and head better than a regular shield will. If you do even a full regular shield, there is spots where Mirth can be shield poked, and Falcos will aim for that with like up air and back air, or sometimes down air for his head.
Right.
So if you light shield, you just basically get knocked off the platform, but you're guaranteeing that he can't hit you. And from the respawn platform, Falco can't grab you. So it's the same concept as a ledge. If you see him coming right towards you at here, you're not really too worried unless he's landed right on the platform to grab you, at which point you could probably just shield drop and get away anyway. So between stocks, you have to play defensive, right? Because he's invincible and he's going to be throwing out like huge attacks to kill you. There's no point of being aggressive or having flashy movement or anything between stocks, even though some people will do it because it looks cool. And like I get that, like don't get me wrong, I'll do that too. But if you're trying to win, you basically have two options to keep yourself safe in this spot, and it's on the platform and on the ledge. Only until he's done with invincibility, at which point you can start playing however you like after that.
Okay.
But yeah.
Got it.
So just much better than this double jump in the air, right? Because he can just back air for you, which he tries to do. You saw it, and you could die. So yeah, just a small tip. Okay. We talked about this a little bit in our last session, but I just want to point it out real quick. Double jumping as soon as you're at a hit stun, right?
Terrible.
Yeah. Imagine if instead you just fall here, right? Like I said, you want to recover below the ledge against characters like Fox and Falco.
Yeah.
Because then you get back aired, same as Sheik. So now you're still going below the ledge here, but now you don't have a jump, right? So it just becomes that much harder for you. You could have just fallen here either way. Even if you did
I think if I get hit really hard towards the blast zone, I'm still not exactly sure where the blast zone is or how like fast I'm moving. So in my mind, it's like if I double jump back, I can maybe save myself. Whereas if I just keep falling, I might drift a little bit too far to the left and touch it. So a little bit of that is just my like, inexperience with like knowing where the blast zone actually is.
Well, I would suggest just even talking it out to yourself, right? Like, why are you doing these side Bs? Because you know they push you forward, right?
Yep.
they slow. Not only do they slow down how fast you like fall, but they actually also are pushing you forward as well. So if you wanted a button habit to have out all the way out here only, you could start side being to start getting some momentum at the very least.
That makes sense.
But when you lose your jump, you just kind of are left with nothing, right? Like,
Yeah.
now the only mix-up you have down here is a weak side B. It's not even like the first one that'll pause you in the air. It just slows your descent a little bit. But like that loses to just Falco crouch canceling here and down smashing you, right? So
Yeah.
you got to keep your double jump to kind of mix up where you can go, kind of thing.
Got it.
Okay, so you get a grab here. Nice. That was good.
Thanks.
I will say the forward air is a little bit more of a commitment. First of all, you do back throw here, which you would always want to. You never really want to do back throw with Marth. You want to do down throw. Oh yeah. Did you? Sorry, have we not talked about that before?
I don't believe we've talked about that. I might have forgotten, but I'm pretty sure we didn't.
That's no worries. It's really quick. It's nothing like super major. But basically at the ledge, back throw. If I had to describe it by the animation, I'll try and point it out by frame here. But back throw, when Marth grabs you and he does a back throw, he kind of like uses his leg or something to like kick you behind. I kind of think of it as like he's kicking a soccer ball with his heel like up or something. That's kind of how like the back throw looks, right? He's not actually doing it, but it's just a leg sweep that kind of gives me that little impression.
Yeah.
But what happens is he kind of like throws you against the ground, right? And then what happens is Falco can actually have an opportunity to DI this. If he holds it in, he bounces right up. And at low percent, he would just kind of like bounce and hit the ground really quick. But if he DIs out, he still goes out like he did here, right? So here he's holding out. But why back throw is worse than down throw is because if he's holding in, he will just land like literally right behind Marth on the ground. And
That happens all the time.
He has the ability to tech in that spot, right? And it's a little awkward for you to kind of like push him off stage from that point.
Yeah.
Down throw will send Falco behind you every time, either way, and it sends out a worse trajectory. So I'm sure you've heard it before, but like Marth's best gimp against Fox and Falco, the way he can kill them super early, is just by doing down throw into down tilt at the ledge.
Wow. Okay.
And that's just like a combo. It's brutal, but the back throw into forward air is still good because you go out and meet him to cover his options, right? Now he has nothing to get back to stage because you just grabbed the ledge before him. So, yeah, essentially, good idea. The back throw and the forward air are good. I like the forward air especially. But just to optimize it a bit, start using down throw instead. It's like there's never a spot in almost any Marth matchup where you want to use back throw. It's always down throw.
This is really funny to me. I don't think I've ever down throwed anybody intentionally. I think it's always been an accident. I didn't even really know that down throw was important.
Oh yeah, if there's two throws you really want to use with Marth, it's up and down.
Yeah.
Forward has its use, but back almost never does. So yeah.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
That was dumb. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just an SD. It happens.
Yeah.
Kind of awkward. Okay. Forward smash. Okay. This is good, right? You still hit him. And you do the jab here, and I can tell this pause is you're looking for his recovery right now, right?
Yeah.
But watch this. Right? You put him in an awful spot off stage. This is great.
Just go out there and hit him, or even down air him.
Down tilt, I think. Imagine if you walk a little closer to the ledge here.
Yeah.
Right? What can Falco do after the shine?
I'm thinking either side B or the fire thing.
Yeah. So imagine if you don't hesitate. When you're edge guarding Fox and Falco, you want to be as close to the ledge as possible because then your sword reaches the most outstage. Does that make sense?
Right.
So imagine after this F smash, you hesitate here at the jab, right? I get it. But imagine if you just start walking forward here instead of dashing back.
Yeah.
He's charging his up B even right now. But, like, even if he decides to side B to the ledge, down tilt just blows that up, you know?
Yeah.
It puts a huge sword out right here, and then he's dead from there. So you hard read him here, right? This is a hard read where you go back, you know he's going to go up, and you hit him again off stage anyway.
Yeah.
But that's just making it more complicated than it needs to be, right? He could be dead right here from just down tilt at the ledge. Down tilt's insanely broken. Because from Falco's perspective, the down tilt will kill him if he goes straight or if he goes up. But so will F smash in this spot, right? You could hit him with F smash if you were closer to the ledge from here. He'd be hit by 1000%.
Right.
So yeah, that's basically just a small recommendation. When you get them off stage like this, like F smash more often than not, you'd want to just start running towards the ledge. Because now you have an opportunity to kill him again at 20%. It's insanely broken, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
From the position that I fell to right before I did my single dash towards him, how would you get closer to the ledge quickly? Because that's sort of like micro movement. Is it like a single foxtrot and then you just kind of like walk a little bit?
So
it's
after
kind of
this
an
S
awkward
smash?
distance for me. Yeah, because I dash once and I'm not really close enough to the ledge. I think if I dash twice, I'm like maybe falling off the ledge. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I personally would run. I would dash and I would hold the dash, and then you can cancel your dash with either shield or crouch. So I would just do that. Another option you could do if you're good at getting the range on it, you could also wave dash as well.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Wave dash would probably put you about right here if you get a good one. And you're actionable right away, right? Puts you a little closer. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
I would probably run though more than anything. It's the idea of like getting comfortable within your dash stance.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure we talked about in our first lesson together about the importance of being comfortable within a dash stance. So we talked about that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, where we practiced it on Yoshi's Story or Pokemon Stadium.
Yes, definitely.
So yeah, basically it's that same idea, right? Where like, imagine the Yoshi circle right here. How do you move effectively to the edge of the circle, right? Probably just a single long dash, but you can weave in and out the whole way if you're uncomfortable, right? So that's kind of the idea behind it. If a dash won't do it, a wave dash certainly will. And it's just a matter of how you choose to get there and how confident you are in moving.
Right.
So yeah. Okay, so he's on stage here. So he's not using many lasers. I don't know. I know we haven't talked about laser too much.
Yeah.
But this is good, right? This basically just gets means for you. You get to play him like Falco's a bad fox, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. And this is a friend of mine. We play a lot, and it's pretty much if he's using a lot of lasers, I'm getting destroyed, and then he stops using lasers, like games like this, and I'm destroying him sort of, and it kind of goes back and forth. And so I'm hoping the other replay. I haven't looked at these in a while. I set these aside like probably a little over a week ago, and if not, I could definitely pull one of our more recent replays. And
sure.
He definitely spams.
Okay. You should be dead here. Again, if you get close to the ledge here, you could even just run off and then up B him while he's charging his up B, you know?
Right. Yeah, he doesn't do damage.
But even still, you could probably just stand here and cover everything, right? With an F smash or a down tilt. So you get F smash from far away, but it's still like too far for it to be like, it covers the one thing where you could cover like everything if you're just a little closer.
Okay. And would you counter at the ledge?
Yeah, definitely. You can.
Okay.
At this spacing in particular, you would only counter if you think he's going to go in. He does have the option if you're countering here with no hitbox out over here, he could just go straight up and fall to the ledge. So when I use counter, I will use counter if the Falco is directly below the ledge, right? That's a guaranteed kill.
Right.
In this spot, though, because you can see he's a little far out, and it's not like it's something that's hard to react to, right? You can see just after hitting him, he's below the ledge here. I would probably opt, in this spot, I would opt for like jump forward and forward air, and I put the hitbox like to cover this massive range right here, right?
Yeah.
Because forward air does technically reach a little bit below the ledge. So you could do that, or you could do like walk forward, down tilt, and again just like poke him, and the poke sends him off stage. Because if you hit the forward air or if you hit the down tilt, it doesn't really matter. They don't kill outright like F smash, but they do kill outright in the sense that like he's just popped off stage without a jump again, but now he has to charge his slow up B, and you just go swat him off, and he's dead, right?
Yeah.
Like we talked about here, edge guards are a death sentence for Falco. So you're doing everything you can to put him off stage, and then once you get him off stage, you just got to keep him off once, and he dies. So, yeah, anyway, just a small optimization, but getting closer to the ledge against when you try to edge guard Fox and Falco, very, very important.
Right. Got it.
Okay. Let's check out the second video. Any questions about that first one before we jump into this one?
No, it made sense. This is super helpful. Just to point out what I'm doing wrong, but also I'm kind of getting a sense of what I should be looking for when I'm watching my replays. And there's really obvious things you're pointing out that when I'm watching my own replays, it don't dawn on me because I'm thinking about other smaller things that maybe don't matter as much. So
no, it's no worries.
This is really helpful.
I think I really like these like little game plan things. Like these are good things to know for the matchup, and they're kind of like the quote unquote rules. But like obviously you not doing those isn't why you're losing these. Right now you're losing these because of like worse habits right now. So it's still important to point out the bad habits so you overcome those. But still, while pointing them out, like we can kind of replace them here and there. But like edge guards are a dead sentence. Here's why you need to hit an edge guard kind of thing. So yeah. Okay. So hopefully this game he laser spams, because I think laser is very important against Falco. But yeah. This one doesn't look like you guys are gaming right now, though. Yeah, you might have sent the wrong one. Yeah. Well, it's okay. Why don't you try and find a more recent one where he
I'll just
laser.
send you one right now. That's
sure.
Should be for sure better. This is more recent as well.
Okay.
Oh, it didn't send. I have to press enter. Oops.
Okay, cool. Okay.
I don't know exactly what happened to this one. This is just one of our more recent sessions, and I just saw that I had gotten like very little damage compared to him, so I'm assuming it's one of the ones where he spams lasers.
Oh my god, same thing, I think. Unless this is the same game, but is it the same game? Hold on. It might actually be. Yeah, no, this is just the same game. Okay, never mind.
Shit. Wait, did I send the wrong one?
No, I think I just opened the wrong one.
Oh.
Yeah. That's pretty funny though. Yeah, I don't know why it's down here. That's odd. But whatever. Yeah. Okay. So this is the right one.
Should be on Dreamland?
Yeah. So, just to point it out, right? Beginning of the game, what are you doing? You're dash dancing, you miss a grab, which, like, I think the dash dance grab is perfectly fine. Then you instantly are jumping way over on top of Falco, right?
Yeah, you're going to see this a lot. I couldn't figure out a way to get around his lasers besides full hopping and then coming in and trying to, like, F smash, or sorry, fair over and over, or, like, grab.
It's not a terrible strategy, but it's incredibly risky because of this type of laser right here, the one that's right in front of him where you get knocked up. He can shine this, he can up tilt this, he can up smash it. He could shield and anticipate that you're still going to try and mash and hit him and then punish you out of shield with something even harder. Like,
so I can't down air faster out of this stun than he can do something to me?
Yeah, definitely not.
Okay.
Think of it like this. Falco, your down air, I think, takes 8 frames to start up? I'm not actually sure. I could look it up right now, but it's not important. The point being,
I believe you.
It's more than 5, right? You get hit by the laser. And, like, he's probably holding shield here, right? So let's even do this. We're not even going to look at how many frames you're out of hit stun, because he gets a shield up before you're even out. So, okay, he's out of hit stun now, officially. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now you're actionable. And even still, he's at 8 frames. So Falco short hop, it only takes 4 frames to come out. Shine is frame 1. So he's already 3 frames late if you wanted to be like perfect about it, which isn't hard.
Yeah.
And then you still don't even have a move out, you know? I'm not saying you tried to put a move out there, but the point being, you definitely wouldn't have time to do it. So it's just really hard, basically. It's not something to reliably go for. What's better in this spot instead? If we look at anti-laser strategies, I just want to get it for after you miss the grab. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's almost exactly like, where is it? This picture right here, right? Pretty close, I would say. So this is a good range to play neutral at with Falco. But the problem is that you don't have a direct in on him. You are literally at mercy to his laser at this spot. So your whole point is to show Falco, I don't care how many times you laser me, I'm going to deal with them and make you uncomfortable. And then once you stop using laser, I'm going to play you for real. Because we already saw in the last game, you destroy him without laser, right? Even with like bad habits and all, it's still really in your favor. So what you need to do in this spot, like we said here, is to stay grounded as much as possible and not commit to approaching Falco blindly. Once you condition Falco to stop shooting laser after you do your anti-laser strategies, he'll begin either playing without laser or just trying to camp you and move to other spots on the stage. But either way, you have the ability to beat that. So this is what you're looking for. In the neutral position, which is around here, right? Around here. You're looking, where does it go? You have access to all your anti-laser strategies, and then you're able to play more committed once he stops. Either way, once you get an opening, you get a kill, essentially. So I don't know why this is white now. Okay. So let's say, I wish it was backed up a little bit. I'm going to back up because I know it's right after the grab either way. What do you think would be a good thing to beat laser at this spot?
It's got to be I would think maybe like take forward or take laser forward to try to close the distance.
It's a trick question, actually.
I mean,
it's any of these. It's these two mostly. An attack from this spot. I just wanted you to not say the attack, which you did, which is good. So
yeah,
we saw it here, right? When you jumped over with forward air, you get hit by that weird laser, and even if still he doesn't have to shoot a laser, he can still anticipate you coming in and just shield, right? So it's a really bad spot to be. So staying grounded here is definitely the play. As far as like which one of these you want to go for, it's all about what you think Falco is going to do. In my opinion, because the distance is so great between you guys, where he doesn't, like, even if he hits a laser from this spot, he doesn't have a guaranteed combo off the laser from this distance, right? So then in that case, I would go for a power shield. These ones, though, the dash back and forward, are both perfectly valid. It's just then you eat the laser and you don't really risk throwing it back at him. So he doesn't really care as much, right? He just knows, oh, this Marth can move between my lasers. Cool. I'll try and hit him between that, you know? But the power shield is a lot scarier for him because then it's like, oh, not only did I get punished, not only did I not hit Marth, I got punished for doing it, you know? And there's not really a big risk for you trying to go for a power shield at this distance. If you guys get closer, if he's like here, maybe there is a little bit, and then the dash back and forward gets a little bit better. But generally speaking, yeah, great distance like this. Don't jump in on Falco. You can't punish him from this distance. You have to play around laser, and that's kind of, that power shield, in my opinion, is the best way to do it. Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like there's really just no way to get to the Falco safely.
Yeah, exactly.
You just have to wait for him to come to you and just make his lasers meaningless in the meantime.
So yeah, that's very close. I would just reword it just so you don't get like a fake rule in your head kind of thing. But you are right. There is no way to come at Falco from this spot. What you have to do is either, like you said, shoot the lasers back at him or play around. I like to say play around them because that lets this option in your head kind of exist versus shoot them back at him. The dash back and forward.
Right.
So play around them or power shield them, shoot them back at him. Those two are really the main options you're looking for. At which point, he will either do one or two things. He'll come at you, or he'll run away, right? Both things, like if he starts running away, well, now you don't have to worry about the laser. Now you're just playing with Falco on a platform. That's a whole other story. But that's fine for you. Same thing as if he comes at you. Now you do have the ability to play and come at him, but you don't really want to run at a Falco that's running at you, right? You want to play around that still and like dash dance grab or something. So that's kind of what I mean by like, you have to show to him that the laser strategy of just laser spam isn't going to work and that you have counterplay to it. And then from that point, you get to play like, I like wording it as like you get to play him like he's a normal character, right? You get to play for real. So it's like you have to beat the mini game to play the real game.
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Oh, I hate Notepad. Okay. Okay. So yeah, same thing. Like here, instantly he did it, right? You shot the power shield at him, and I'm sure it's just like a reaction thing. But now he's all the way up in the air. He's freaking out doing something completely different, right? So yeah, it's a real thing for sure. Like, trust me. And then see, like now if you run at him from all the way across that range, you can still get S smashed, but he's not going to be shooting laser, and like you can easily dash hits around this S smash then, right? So it's just to show that you can be comfortable playing in this range for as long as you want, and that he's going to start freaking out because all he's going to risk doing is either get the laser shot back at him or he gets 3% and nothing. And all Falcos are antsy players. They really just want to hit their big shine combos, think they're mango. So it is a real thing. It might seem like it's a checkmate that you can't beat it, but I promise you, you absolutely can.
Yeah.
It's just hard.
It sounds like I just need to be able to power shield 50% of lasers, like more than 50%. Otherwise, they sit there and eventually they just win. Either
that, or you get comfortable taking the laser and then dashing back and whiffing him, making him like be like, oh, he got hit by a laser, I'm gonna F smash, and then you dash back and come in and grab him. It's still fine to take the laser and move because you can still bait him, right? The idea is that you want to bait him to do something else or make him give up and go do something else instead, right?
Okay, got it.
Because yeah, even if you are good at doing it more than 50% of the time, you're still gonna be putting damage on him, and he gets scared of in case. Like, let's say you read that he's going to do a low laser, then you can do something like this, right? But that's the idea, basically. It's like you can't... He gets really uncomfortable when he's get put in a corner like that. Every character does against Marth. Okay. Okay, get a grab here. Okay. I think, in general... On Dreamland, just because the platforms are high, try not to ever really do nair. Do forward air instead. Just a small tip, but
jump up in fair. Okay.
Yep. It could even be instant fair, right? Because if you do an instant fair, it just kind of pops right up. It'll tipper, and that lets you Ken combo or it lets you do any other kind of combo.
Gotcha.
But yeah. Okay, nice. Little slow off grab. I think this is a common theme. You'll often throw your opponent, but you're a little slow to act.
Yeah, I'm just acting too long out of the delay. Or like the what is it? Not hit stun, but
the animation ending, basically.
Yeah.
Like it's a weird thing that's in Melee, and it's actually not in other Smash games. I don't even think it's in Brawl or like 64. But it's definitely not an ultimate. But however long that little up throw animation lasts, where his hand is in the air, that's actually dependent on the character's weight. So, like if you throw Jigglypuff, that up throw is instant. But if you throw Bowser, Marth actually takes quite a while to get his arm up because he's heavy, right? It actually is based on the character's weight. It's a stupid mechanic, but it is a real one. So basically, all I'm suggesting is that maybe take some time when you're practicing the chain grab. When you are practicing the later percents of like 30 onward, just take some time to act as soon as possible afterwards, because it just maximizes your chance to get a combo, right?
Yeah, got it.
Okay,
that makes sense.
So that's like a good solo practice thing to grind out, like power shielding and Uncle Punch as well. Okay. This was almost really good though, right? Like the forward air.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you kept holding in, which is the problem. But yeah. Totally fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's doing what I told you to do between invincibility. Notice this.
Mm-hmm.
Going to a platform, just getting away from you. You can't do this because he is just faster in the air, right? But it's the same idea. He's staying away from you, getting on a platform. He's not shielding outright, but he knows you can't hit him, right? With Marth, it's a little bit different just because he's floatier. He's in the air for longer. So you have to do the side platform or thing, but same idea. Putting some distance between you guys when the other one's invincible. Okay, same thing here, laser, right? Playing the neutral range, you jumping over. You just gotta be comfortable staying on the ground here. It's huge with Marth. Okay, grab, up throw, a little slow. It's fine. Okay, slow on landing here. We talked about the 20xx green standstill thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So when you play this, right, you can see really easily the forward air. Standing, moving, you know. But like if you get that combo off the fair could like kill him outright, right?
Yeah.
You could, if you were able to jump here, you could even up B him, like do the Palcan combo, which is like. Do you know about the Palcan combo? Sorry, I don't want to assume.
No, I know I'm familiar with Ken combo. But...
Yeah, so in Europe, Melee's game balance is actually different. It used to be different, I should say. It's not anymore. Now they play on the American version of the game. But in the European version of the game, there's a lot of game balances. One of the game balance differences is Marth down air. It just sucks. It doesn't kill, right? People can escape it like they can like Falcon down air kind of thing. So what they'll do when they try and go for a Ken combo in Europe instead, they call it the PAL Ken combo because it's the PAL region version of the game.
Yeah, right.
But the Palcan combo is instead of down air, they use up B instead to just shoot them outwards instead of they'll do like up B reverse. So like you would jump at Falco and then you up B this way once you're touching him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's really good against some characters since often there's a lot of times where it's actually better than the regular Ken combo, right? Like if you hit forward air here, you're just gonna down air him on the platform. But here, he's at 112. You hit him with up B, he dies off the side. So, yeah, all this to say, you could definitely go for that instead of just regular Ken combo to begin with. But you could absolutely go for it on stage if you're a little bit quicker out of acting here.
Right.
So you just got to get comfortable with that. Oh, that was crazy.
Yeah, I never intentionally used that ability once.
Yeah. It's no problem. It's just cool looking.
Yeah.
Okay. So here, grab. So again, you use back throw here, right? Sorry, I'm mashing right now, but I'm just trying to get it to speed up. He goes right over the ledge, right?
Yep.
But down throw puts him even further. So down throw is just the one.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so the neutral range here, right? Imagine instead you're just forward right on him, right? You can see that you starting up walk here when you get hit by lasers.
Yep.
You're doing walk forward. I think one more time, walking forward. See? What you can do though, right? Playing this distance, right? You start dashing back. Look how far Marth crouches underneath this laser for so long, right?
Yeah, power shield that.
Power shield back with the dash back power shield. He loses this interaction then.
Yep. I see some people like wave dash straight down immediately after they power shield. Is that a thing?
It's like a thing, but it's not really doing anything. You'll see a lot of Jigglypuff players do that in particular. That might be where you're seeing it from. Like Hungrybox does it a lot.
It was actually, I think it was Kador. I think it was a Kadoran video where he would just like power shield wave dash down in between, and I wasn't sure why he was doing it. He didn't explain why, and maybe he was just.
It could just be like a spacing thing. Sometimes top players will do things at like are player to player kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I can assure you Hungry Box does that a ton. But the reason why he does it isn't really applicable to a Marth player, just because it Jigglypuff has like special properties with her crouch where she will just make moves completely miss. So the wave dash down for Jigglypuff has that same property of like the weird like glitchy crouch.
I see.
So yeah, that's all that is.
Okay.
Not really relevant for Marth. Is basically what I would say. Okay, gonna grab here. Missed the chain grab, but he had the right idea. Another grab, chain grab. Okay, so percent, right? He's out 30. 30 is when I would recommend start mixing in up tilt. So here you could up tilt him.
Okay.
Chain grab works still, but it's like you have more opportunity to drop it versus an up tilt. You get more damage and you could potentially get a harder punish.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
So yeah. Okay, so getting a lot of grabs though. Okay. Get caught in your movement. That's fine. Okay, double jump, right? I get that this is a pressure thing. Like you're scared, but just got to be aware of it. He could back air you if he committed.
Yep.
Okay. Double jump again, but you hit him, so not really the end of the world, but just pointing it out.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So how do you recover? Honestly, not a bad recovery. I'm actually pretty glad to see this one. So use the side Bs to get back. The double jump, sure, is a little bit early outward. But much better than what we've seen before. So I'm just going to give you credit on that one. I don't think we need to harp on it too much. I think that was pretty good.
Thanks.
Okay, so up throw. Okay. Okay, so here, double jump out of hit stun, right? This is what he's looking for in this spot, right? What could you do in this position instead of double jumping that he would be afraid of? It's a tough question to answer, so if you don't know, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
In this position, it's shield. If he forward smashes again and you shield it, you down throw him off stage and he dies at 60, sure, but he dies, right? And he doesn't want to die. It's a little awkward because he doesn't have to do another forward smash. He could still do like regular like down air shine pressure kind of thing. But granted, this is just a really advantageous spot for Falco, right? You're right on top of him in the air. Like this is just good for him. So it's making the best out of a worse situation, but doing a double jump here is making the worst out of a worse situation.
Right.
Okay, so Nair.
Oh, I don't know why I did that.
It's okay. I think one thing you do need to get comfortable with is just when you get someone off stage like this, you're often stopping right here. Go a little further, right? Because if you were further here and you didn't hesitate, this like up B becomes a lot more easier to react to with forward air, right? And you have more range to cover. Like here, you only have the little itty bitty tip of your sword going out, but the sword's disjointed, so it's not a risk to you.
Got it.
Okay. So here, little committal, but he doesn't punish you for it. I would just wait here personally for him to come down. That's just me. Just because you're not underneath him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, forward throw. Okay. Can I ask why you do forward throw here instead of up throw?
That's like an old muscle memory problem that I have, where I used to just always forward throw after every grab, and I like drilled it into my memory so hard that now I'm having to like work against it.
Just to work against it.
There was no thought process. Yeah.
Okay. Well, as long as you know and it's something you're working on, I have no problem with it. But yeah, up throw definitely better. Okay. So mess up your anti-laser strategies there, but good spacing.
That sort of pressure that he just did is like de facto him beating me every game we play. That like when he does this sort of stuff, it's not even really I think good pressure, but yeah, just like a laser, I shielded another laser jumping in, and then all of a sudden, I'm in a that's. So
this is the important. This is the importance of staying grounded here, right? At this range, even if you got hit by a laser, it's because you're in landing lag of being stuck in the air right here. Do you notice this?
Yeah, trying to jump over it.
At this range, you're like, okay, I shielded this one. Yeah, I'm gonna jump over it now and hit him, right? But at this range, like let's really think about this. What does Falco have to combo you with here? If you were standing still, really nothing. But it's because you get hit by the laser. Look, you're out of laser hit stun already. If you were grounded, you could dash away and come and grab him. But now because you're in the air, you have to go through your landing animation, and that lets him get another laser, right?
Right.
So again, staying grounded against Falco when you think he's gonna laser is huge, because it just gives you more options, and it doesn't let you get as opened up by lasers nearly as easily.
Got it.
Okay.
Just a very quick question: should he not be double jumping out of hit stun like that the same way that I should not be?
Yeah, definitely not.
Okay, because I've been telling him that too. He's like, well, then what am I supposed to do though? I'm just gonna get hit if I fall down, and I'm like, I don't know, man, but my coach tells me not to.
Well, from his perspective here, let's talk about it just so you can give him somewhat of an idea.
That would be awesome. Thanks.
So here, right, up tilt, double jump. Where can he go? He can go right below, off stage, kind of to the ledge. He can land on this platform, or he can side B, right? So he has here, 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 and here. Four spots he can go. Right. And like side B over here, so technically 5. What is the most difficult for Marth to cover here?
Side B?
I would think so. I would think it's either the side B or the double jump to the platform here. But either way, he can go there. But the problem is he's double jumped, so he's made this like not that difficult for Marth. Now he just has to come down on Marth with a disjointed sword. So I get why your friend is upset about it, but it's because he's doing a bad player habit. Instead, if once he gets hit by this up tilt here, he could do the double jump after falling a little bit and then land here. But then at least he makes Marth have to guess, because Falco falls so much faster between, is he going to go here or is he going to go here? You know, the up tilt is a good thing to hit with Marth, because it just puts him right up in the air, and Marth just has a disjointed sword. It's objectively a much better spot for Marth than it is for Falco to catch someone without a jump.
Yeah.
But the point being, he can use his double jump to like mix up where he's going to land against Marth, even when he's in bad spots like this, versus I'm out of my double jump and then I just get hit, you know?
Yeah.
So he's not really using his double jump as a mix up. He's using it as an escape tool solely, and that's not good. At least with Falco. With other characters, it doesn't really apply as much.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so this is in this spot here. A lot of bad players, what they'll do, right? Falco down smash is right here. A lot of bad players will try and scrap here, and they'll like run in on Falco because he's in the corner and I'm really close to him. I'm so close finally after being laser camped. I'm gonna go right back in. He's actionable already before you're able to get out of your shield, right? Terrible spot to be. So I just want to point this out. While it may seem very tempting to run in on him here, right here, this is a spot where you reset. And thankfully you do. So I wanted to point it out because I think I was really impressed to see that you didn't run in like most people will. Because what you actually want to do here, if you're in landing lag against Falco, or you're in shield lag against Falco, don't get caught in the bad player habit of trying to grab at a shield in the corner all the time. Or don't get caught like, oh, I'm actionable now, I'm coming in, Falco. Like, don't do that. Reset and win neutral yourself versus trying to get a counter hit off him in the corner, because that's what he feeds off of. He has so much better pressure on shield and so many faster and stronger moves than you. He's hoping you're going to do that. So it's good that you didn't. I just want to point out that it was really that was actually like high level melee for a second there.
Thanks.
Okay, good. So when you're hitting these power shields, right? I know it's hard in this spot, so I get it why you're not. But when you are hitting these power shields like this, and you're proving to him, okay, I'm not going to do that, you can start inching your way a little closer, but not approach in all the way. The point of moving in is just to make him a little uncomfortable, right? Because what the Falco is thinking is, oh, he's shooting his back at me. He's going to use these like I use lasers for him. where now he's going to use the laser to come hit me. So I'm going to do something stupid. But if you just come close here and wait for him to do something stupid, he's going to do something stupid, I promise you.
Okay.
So it's just kind of one of those things where like you got to show that you're fine to do it, cuz look, he's committing as soon as he's seeing that, oh, laser isn't working for me anymore. Not calling your friend a wiener, but he is camping you right now trying to beat you, you know?
Yeah, I'm always telling him to do that though, because it always works, and that's what kills me. So that I'm trying to like find counterplay. Like he kind of wants to come in, but I'm always like, dude, when you laser me, when you camp me, you win.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep doing it.
So you just got to prove that you can beat it, right? And then your guys' game will kind of improve from there.
Yeah, exactly. When I was towards the end there, I power shielded one of his lasers, and then he kind of came in on me really quickly and grabbed me. I think it might have been before this.
Before the stock?
No. It was pretty close to the end, but
okay.
Somewhere around here. I'm just wondering, like, I'm supposed to react, I guess, and that seems very difficult. But let's see.
Yeah, I think it was the stock before.
Yeah, it was like
end of the last stock. Here.
Yeah, this part. So I'm trying to power shield, but then you're telling me I'm just supposed to like react when boom, all of a sudden, like right there, I'm supposed to just quickly see him coming in and like backdash and then grab him, or like I guess in that case he tried to grab me, so I would need to like just forward air him there or something when he comes in.
So what I'm often looking for in this spot, why I'm saying close the distance. Right now you're too far against Falco, and it's not, the problem isn't really that you're too far against Falco. You imagine if FD was like endless, right? The stage was endless, there was no ledge. It doesn't really matter for Falco's perspective, because all this becomes a point of, at that point, is can you hit the lasers or no? Why you want to get a little closer to Falco and close the distance between the two of you to an extent is because you don't want to be stuck in the corner against him. We haven't talked about it much today, and it's in the lesson with Sick Robot if you want to go in my Discord and watch that. But essentially, that's a really long lesson though. So like, if you don't want to, like, I totally get it. It's like 2.5 hours. But the idea is that when Martha's in the corner against Falco, he has no ability to move at all. And then at that point, Falco can really just start putting a bunch of shield pressure on him. He doesn't really have to use laser anymore.
Yeah.
So what you're looking for when you are reflecting these lasers the way you were is you want to just get a little closer to the center. And from the center of the stage, that's when you can kind of like play the weave in and out, make Falco uncomfortable game. And you can do that by just either doing the dash back and forward lasers, or in my opinion, what's better is the dash back power shields, because you're still power shielding those back to him, but you're able to weave in and out effectively and stay at a range where even if he does come in and grab or come in and do a dash attack or F smash or whatever, you're not really too worried about it because you're actively moving around them, right?
Right.
So like here, and you can kind of see it, like you're not really supposed to keep your eyes on Marth while you're playing as Falco. You're supposed to keep them on Falco. And you can see it, like he's inching his way forward slowly but surely, right? Each time he does a laser, right? These are in place. There he does a little walk. It's a little bit of a tell. Now he's moving forward after it, right? In real time, it's a lot harder, of course. But because you're mobile, you don't really get scared, right? When you see Falco doing this jump, even that's a tell on its own. Okay, I'm going to come in. Oh, but he's actually going to actionable and I don't have a laser out. I'm going to run away, right? So you kind of get like little tells just by like playing and getting an idea of how they get frustrated. So for this guy, like he will shoot a laser, and once he gets hit by one, he freaks out a little bit. And sometimes he'll just run at you, but sometimes he'll just like do something completely different. So that's what you're looking for more than anything. When you're shooting these lasers back at them, they always have a little tell. And if they're in an extreme situation, maybe they do just get stuck there, but at least they're still getting hit by their own lasers, so you don't care even still. So it's still all completely in your favor if you are reflecting the lasers. All you have to do is just be comfortable staying mobile while you're doing it.
Got it. Okay.
So
yeah, that makes sense.
I think that's the end of this game, right? I'm pretty sure you just use your jump here and then die. Yeah. Double jumped above the ledge, right? We talked about that, but that is how it goes, right? Boom.
That's how it goes. Yeah. Boom. And
Okay.
That was awesome. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, no problem at all. So yeah, like I said, the lesson with Sick Robot is in my Discord if you want to check that out. I definitely think these are like rules you can keep for Falco, no matter how good at the game you are. But I do think you have a lot of solo practice you can definitely grind out in terms of like getting up more off your grab, getting better at power shielding, stopping the double jump stuff, not using dash attack, like those kind of things. We talked about using down throw, etc. Yeah, I hope it was helpful. I think that's a pretty good like baseline to start off with how to play against Falco. Like I said, he is one of the weirder characters in the game where it's not so much you fishing for something like super hard, it's more so playing around what he's doing. But there are still some things you can fish for. It's just you have to be good at like the mini game of laser strategies before you can start playing the rest of it, kind of thing. And that's just kind of how it goes. So, yeah. Any questions before we wrap things up here?
No, dude, that was very comprehensive.
Okay,
good.
Awesome, no problem. So this is our 4th lesson together after the package. So if you are interested in continuing lessons with me, absolutely. I've been enjoying it. I'd be happy to continue. Just you can hit me up on DMs after that. We don't have to talk about it in the recording necessarily, but just give you a heads up. Also, just one more thing. I am gonna start asking this for my Metafy students more. It's not a requirement at all. I just think it is helpful. My manager's pushing me to do this. I've been requested to ask for testimonials. So if you do have any social media, I know this is on Metafy, so it might not apply to you as hard, but you can leave me a testimonial on Metafy or even just a tweet that I can retweet. It would be super, super helpful. Again, not a requirement whatsoever. Do not feel obligated to do so. I'm just being told to ask this now. But no, I would appreciate it. Seeing we finished the 4 lessons together now, I feel like, in my opinion, you probably are pretty comfortable with it, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I would certainly appreciate it. Thank you very much for that. I'm gonna get this lesson up as soon as possible so you can have this. But
that'd be great.
If you are looking to continue lessons, I definitely think we could talk more about how to beat Falco, how to beat those habits out of you a little quicker. But at least now you have a roadmap of like where they are, what to kind of look for while you're playing, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, I really want to try to iron out all the obvious stuff so that whenever we're doing these VOD reviews, it's a lot less of like, this is, the obvious things are getting me killed, and more of like, okay, no, you need to be thinking more about this. And,
theory stuff. Yeah,
theory.
Okay, cool. Yeah, for sure. So I will,
I'll hit you up.
Awesome. I will get this video up to you as soon as possible, but otherwise you have a great rest of your night.
All right. Thanks. You too, man. Take care.
No worries. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.